Hey guys, it's Nudie Doot Doot here, and we're bringing you a quick video just to talk about if you should get Squad. Now, right off the bat, I'm just going to say that Squad is not a game for everyone, and we've got a lot of topics to cover, so I'm just going to get right into it here. What is Squad? So Squad is a hardcore shooter. I guess you could say that it's tactical, and it's quite heavy in the team mechanics. So if you don't like hardcore shooters, you're probably not going to like Squad a whole lot. It's got a difficult aiming system to learn. Aiming mechanics are different than most. I grew up on Call of Duty and Halo, so coming to Squad was different because it's hard to aim in this game. It's slow, it's gritty, it's realistic. This game also has realistic stamina. So if you sprint at full speed in real life with a full set of body gear, you are bound to lose your breath, and it will make it harder to aim, the same way it does in the game. And you'll also slow down over time, the same way it does in game. So I think that was perfectly replicated. This game also boasts combined arms gameplay, which is a rare thing to do successfully. I think Battlefield overdoes the combined arms a little bit, but I think this game has a pretty good balance. It's a team-based game, so if you don't like playing with teams, with friends, with people you have no clue, where they come from, maybe this game isn't for you. About 90% of the matches that I play, everyone's usually speaking English and everyone's usually communicating in squad chat. You'll see it a lot in the bottom left, people talking, and it's just a common occurrence for people to talk in this game. So team play is a huge, huge thing. I'd say it's about 50% of this game. And you can get insane amounts of kills in this game by yourself, right? You could just go and just pop people in the head by yourself. But just as easily, you can get flanked if you don't have any team support. And it can be really tough to enjoy a game if you're not playing without your team. Squad has a decent community. It's not toxic, really. Everyone who's a vet, people like me, we all understand the importance of team play, and therefore we know how to talk to others without being terribly cancer. And that's kind of why veterans hate free weekends, because so many people who aren't really part of the community come in and just... God. Free weekends. Squad has an active multiplayer. There's usually a couple thousand players on at a time, any given time, any given day, and it's never really hard to find a multiplayer server, so that's always nice. And then Squad has a great dev team. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've been following a lot of games lately, and let's be honest, it's not pretty. There's a lot of dev teams who just don't care about their games, or they don't care about their community, and Squad is not like that. Offworld is the dev team for Squad, and they are on it. They love their community. They listen to community feedback. They work on patching their bugs as soon as they come, and they try and give us, frequent updates. Which leads us to our next big point here. Offworld does a great job in adding more content to the game at a steady pace. It's not fast by any means, but it's definitely steady. We got V10, which added a whole lot of animations, broke a couple aspects of the game, basically made it a new game for everyone who was involved, and set us all back to square one. And now we got V11 with Brits, and they're a welcome sight. So great work to Offworld. I think they do a great job as a development team, and I appreciate their work in the game. So then we've got the team dynamic part of Squad. Like I said earlier, it's a really team-oriented game. It's about 50% of this game is communication. It's so important that you communicate and play with your team. Like here, I went off on my own, and you see me, I got shot in the face. Team play could be a great thing, and then there's the terrible, sad part where team play could be the worst thing. If you get stuck on a team that just sucks, it's an unfortunate and it's an unfun experience for all involved. The thing for this, my favorite part about this entire game is the audio experience. I find myself jumping out of my chair when a grenade lands right next to me, or if a mortar explodes on my face, or even nearby, or if you're driving and an IED goes off. It's just so scary, but it's great. It's a great scary. Like, games don't scare me but this game is just so immersive in its audio experience that it's good. It's really good. Some of the things that we could talk about that aren't so good about this game, though. The game doesn't have official servers, so you tend to get bombarded with the typical, hey, join our clan, join our Discord, which is fine because, I mean, these people are hosting these servers and I get to play on them for free, so that's cool. But just one of those things that might be worth noting. Tunnels. Tunnels are probably the worst thing that Squad has ever added to its game. Minecraft, and this kind of goes into the skill levels of squad leaders. Some people are great at building FOBs, one of the spawn points in the game. Others aren't. And what tends to happen sometimes with the less experienced is they'll build a spawn point really far from anything that matters, and then they'll build it up. So you can build machine guns and bunkers. Oftentimes it's squandered on playing no sort of objective. It's a big waste, and it often holds back the team because that's 9 people who aren't contributing to the team, and they're wasting their time building stuff when they could be helping the team. So that's another issue, but that's not really something that I think the devs plan on fixing. I think that's just a skill gap issue that usually happens when there are newer players, but that kind of ties into the squad team play. Vehicles, however, they are really, really difficult to use. I have no clue why vehicles are just so bad. They have terrible physics, they flip often, they get stuck on everything, and I mean, they're just not really fun to use. And quite often, I find myself losing my immersion, kind of like the instant I hop into a vehicle. You get stuck on a bush and you're going 80 and you stop instantly with no, health damage. It's just, vehicles are bad. Maps. Generally, they're quite large, and I think that's a great thing. Big maps are great. That means you can flank using your squad. That means you can use vehicles on these maps, like, realistically. I have an issue with the lacking vertical cover that you can take. For the most part, there isn't a lot. It's mostly open fields. They try to replicate real life, but in doing so, they take away so much from gameplay. Just because, like, I can't take cover. There's no places to take cover if I plan on taking, my squad and assaulting a fortified position. And that means I have to run across an open field. That means I'm going to lose that assault. So I think maps definitely need some work, and the developers are planning on doing a randomized assault and secure sequence. And I think that'll be great for the game because right now all of the maps are fixed and there's a lot to these maps that need to be changed, or the objectives that are at play, just because it's like it's just too cancer, I think, to try and assault something that's heavily fortified. Now we get to asymmetric balance. So recently they just dropped a huge update, version 11, where they added the Brits, but with the Brits they added Bradleys and Warriors, where the Russians didn't get anything new, and that's kind of it for vehicles. Compared to a Warrior or a Bradley, all other vehicles are basically nothing. If you try to do any sort of vehicle combat against the Americans or the Brits, you will lose, and you will lose your vehicle, and you will waste those tickets. I think Squad has done a good job in trying to balance ticket loss, as Bradleys and Warriors cost a lot of tickets to lose, but it's just unfun for people who are involved in any sort of vehicle combat. If you are Russian and fighting against American, or insurgent, or militia fighting against American or Britain vehicles, it's not fun. If you hit a vehicle in its weak spot, you'll do the most damage with an AT rocket, which is cool, a welcome feature. But they also limited the amount of AT rockets, and there's only one kit in the entire team where you need at least 40 players on in order to unlock, which is the heavy anti-tank, which can one-shot most vehicles, but still not Warriors and still not Bradleys, and those are the most annoying vehicles. So, just those are the types of things where it's like, I mean, I wish that there were features that maybe help balance, because the Americans even have TOW missiles, and so do the Russians and so do the Brits, but the factions that really need them, the ones that really need anti-tank, are the insurgents and the militia. So I don't know how I feel about the asymmetry. Some people might like that. I definitely don't. And then there's a level system. There is no level system. So I'm used to playing games where my progress is saved. I have a character, and that character levels up, and I get, achievements and badges and stuff. But that's your typical shooter. It's not like that in this game, like at all. In fact, you could technically ignore your squad leader and everything that he tells you to do, all the way entirely, and there will be no repercussions aside from maybe if there's a server rule against that. The last thing that I have to talk about here is team stacking. Team stacking is a thing that just happens. It actually happened here. Me and my friend, we were playing this match, and we switched teams because the team that we're playing on now lost the last game, and they lost the last game before that. Usually it's just one team is moderately good and the other is incompetent. The chances of you joining a server where there is team stacking is high. It just happens that way. Clans, organized clans, are hosting these servers, so you'll get quite often a team that's just filled with this organized clan, and that's it. And it's the same way for joining a squad. Towards the beginning of this video, I joined a squad and they weren't good. That squad leader didn't know what he was doing, so I ended up breaking off and making my own squad. It's a flip of the coin every time. So it's unfortunate that the game plays this way, but that's just how it is. And there's no way to really tell, because there's no level system to tell if the squad leader even has experience. There's nothing to bar players from squad leading if they want to. So it boils down to this. I'm a firm believer in that if you really want to play a game, then you should check it out. And if you are truly curious, then Steam has that refund option. Granted, I will say that you need to play more than 2 hours to really get the squad feel, because 2 hours could be about 2 matches, maybe 3, and I feel like a new player won't get what they need out of just 2. But I also like what I like, and that might not be what you like. So that'll be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and that'll be Newt Doot signing off for now. I will see you guys in the next one.